Tu B'Shvat Seder follows a specific order, divided into 4 parts. We drink 4 cups of wine, each cup changing color to correspond to the changing seasons. We eat 3 types of fruits and nuts. These relate to 4 types of world: action, formation, creation, and emanation.
Excuse me 1 second.
Oh, what a beautiful cup.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. Thank you.
Rabbi, what's the difference between action and creation?
That is a good question. I think, well, there's a little bit of an explanation in Suzanne's text.
Okay.
But so we'll get to it, but I think it's mainly the idea, I think, I'm not much of a Kabbalist, but meaning a Jewish mystic. And if anyone has more knowledge than I do, please pipe up. But I think it generally means that, creation sort of more has in mind the idea of, creating things kind of from nothing, whereas action means, you're sort of dealing with what is already exists. So, but let's continue. Ellen, do you feel like reading?
I do.
Great.
The first world is the world of action. It is the world in which we assemble and shape artifacts without changing the form of the raw material. It is the physical world represented by earth and the season of winter. In this world, we drink white wine and eat fruits with hard outer shells and soft insides. The white wine symbolizes the time when the sun's rays begin to weaken during the end of the summer. It also symbolizes the white, bleak, and dry state of the earth in the season of winter. In winter, the earth is sometimes barren, covered with snow. In winter, we lay ourselves in clothing, blanketing ourselves from the cold, just as the earth covered in snow is insulated.
Great. All right. So we're going to drink our first cup of wine. Now, I gave everyone 4 cups of juice that got juice. And so you can drink one of the cups of just white, but my recommendation is not to drink all of it unless you're going to put it into another cup, which if you're going to put it in a different cup, then you can do whatever you want. All right, because later we have to do some mixing of the mixing of the cups. So it'll be very interesting. All right, so everyone can say this together. Baruch
Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Blessed are you, God, our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine. Amen. Okay. So the first fruits we eat have hard shells on the outside and soft fruit on the inside to remind us of the protection the earth gives. We acknowledge that we need protection in life, both physical and emotional. We bless our defense systems. They are holdovers from an earlier time when they helped us survive. This type of fruit is symbolic of the kind of human being whose goodness and humanity become accessible through the actions of outside effort and change. Suzanne, why don't you read the rest of this page?
The fruit also symbolizes the winter season with its protected outside. Removing the hard shells exposes a fleshy, vulnerable inside. The shell which conceals also protects. In the world of work, of everyday activity, the spiritual requires protection and nurturing. Special effort is necessary to protect it from indifference, from being forgotten, from unkind influences. The almond tree has special significance for Tu B'Shvat. The word for almond in Hebrew means to watch or wake. The almond tree is the first to awaken out of its winter sleep. And by the 15th of Shvat, it is also full of blossoms, the blossoms of fruitful promise. As we eat the fruit of the physical world of action, may we be blessed with the courage to reveal ourselves, to be vulnerable, to grow, and to repair and help heal.
So for people who can't eat nuts, I did put in a clementine, which you can peel and eat. But if you can eat nuts, there should be enough nuts in your little baggie. All right, so let's everyone say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'etz. Blessed are you, God, our God, King of the universe, who creates the fruits of the tree. All right.
I think that I remember in Israel first seeing almond blossoms all over the hills.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, I used to lead trips to Israel, and they very often happened around Tu B'Shvat, and I always remember that the almond blossoms had already begun to come out, which was always so beautiful. You know, then I was of course jealous because I would come home to the States and it would still be winter, not spring. All right, Connie, why don't you pick up the next two paragraphs?
The second world, the most vulnerable, is the world of formation. It is the emotional world represented by water and the season of spring. In this world, we drink white wine with a dash of red and eat fruits with soft outsides and hard inner cores. It is the world in which we cause a transformation of raw materials, such as making bricks from clay. We acknowledge our Creator not only of the physical world, but also of our ability to be creative, our capacity to feel and speak and sing.
Go ahead, Connie, keep on going.
The white wine with a dash of red is reflective of the early growing plants of spring. It symbolizes the gradual deepening of color, which parallels the reawakening of colors in nature as the sun brings them back to life. In spring, the sun's rays begin to thaw the frozen earth and the first flowers appear on the hillsides. In the full warmth of spring, we go outdoors to be with nature, no longer coating ourselves in protective attire. We expose our soft bodies to the sun.
Oh, we can't wait, can we?
Especially after today.
All right, so
Right.
let's yeah, seriously. So
Do
let's
we have to mix it first.
Yeah, so put a couple of drops of one of your red wines into a white, and we'll have, rosé, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
All right. Baruch atah
Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'agafen. All right, here we go. All right, go ahead, Ann. Why don't you pick up the next 2 or 3 paragraphs?
Okay. We eat fruits containing pits, fruits with a tough inner core and soft outer. We acknowledge the need to fortify our hearts. With a strong heart and pure vision, we can pull down the protective outer shell. Our lives grow richer and deeper. We become available to the miracle of nature which surrounds us. The fruits we eat now remind us that despite the wondrous expressions of our spirit, are still tied to the hard pit of our ego. We are still concealed deep inside, protecting ourselves from within. Fruits containing pits are not unlike those of us who may give the appearance of being open to receive love and communication, but who, when tested, lack compassion and have a heart of stone. If such a stone were replanted, perhaps by the human will to change, the person could be renewed.
All right, Ellen, why don't you pick up and finish this page?
I'm eating. I can't talk right now.
Okay, sounds good. Environmental threats are overwhelming. Despite the tremendous importance of ancient forests as home to 2/3 of the Earth's species and to regulating our climate and atmosphere, human beings have destroyed over 3/4 of the ancient forests of the world. This has resulted in the most extensive extinction of species since the Ice Age. The olive tree is a sign of hope that despite the enormity of destruction, life can be restored. When the great flood began to subside, Noah sent out a dove. The dove came back to him toward evening, And there in its bill was a leaf it had picked from an olive tree. As we eat the fruit of the world of formation, may our hearts be open to the feelings and needs of ourselves and others, allowing the warmth of our care through the world. And so we will now eat. So instead of dates and olives, olives I thought would be too messy, so I got apricots instead. Just be careful if you do have a date; they do have the pits in them, so you don't want to meet that pit with your teeth. So we
I
say
can read now. I'll read now.
Oh, good. Okay, why don't you read us the blessing, Ellen?
On the blessing.
Oh, good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam bari pri ha'etz.
All right, very nice. Amen.
Can I read the third world?
Yeah, let's give everyone a second hour.
Yeah.
Time out.
We're doing apricots now and
Apricots and dates now. Yeah,
okay.
these are some
Good.
monster dates.
They're huge dates.
Huge date.
I know. I can't believe how big they are.
Good apricot.
Yeah, it's all Trader Joe's specials, in case you were wondering. But the grape juice came from the butcher. It's the only place I know to get kosher white grape juice.
No, I don't want to read next because it has wine in it. I don't want to read next.
Okay, sounds good. So, Suzanne, why don't you pick up?
The third world is the world of creation. It is the world of thoughts. It is represented by air and the seasons of spring and summer. In this world, we drink half white and half red wine, reminiscent of the full blooming colors of spring and summer. It is a reflection of the warmth and the strength of our own maturity. It reminds us that as the land becomes warmer and the colors of the fruits deepen as they ripen, we too become warmer and more open.
All right, so are you willing to read the blessing with it? Just lead us in the blessing?
Well, why don't we all say the blessing together? I like that book.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. So go ahead. Why don't you just start us off, Suzanne?
Baruch atah Adonai.
Adonai,
Eloheinu
Eloheinu,
melech
haolam,
Borei
Bari
Hagafen.
Hagafen. Amen. All right, Connie, why don't you read the next two?
We eat fruits that are completely edible. We can let go of all barriers and try on freedom. These fruits are symbolic of that part of humankind which can open its heart and its mind to others. As human beings struggling to survive in a world which often seems antagonistic to our integrity, we can develop hard shells to protect our inner core, like the fruit of the first world. Although we survive as individuals within our shells, we remain partly hidden and cut off from each other. And touching one another takes patient effort of separating the protective layer from the inner core while keeping the core intact. We can also be more like the fruit of the second world, available up to a point, but withholding our innermost part, perhaps needing a secret toughness to keep from collapsing under the pressure.
Great. All right, Ellen, why don't you pick up here?
Me?
Yep.
But in our most precious relationships, we are most like the fruit that are soft throughout and it can be taken whole, available to each other in every aspect and facet of our personalities, and strong in a way which does not cut any part of us off from ourselves or from each other. At this moment, there is no inner shell. We feel at one with each other and with all creation. As we eat the fruit of the world of thoughts of creation, may our thoughts and actions be integrated. May we create harmony in our lives and in the world. As we eat fruit that grows on trees, we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Borei
Bari
Hagafen. All right, so there are apples, but the figs are the classic thing to eat.
Eating figs for this?
Pigs,
Thank
exactly.
you so much.
Figs.
Thank
Mm,
Mm.
great.
Does have a seed in it.
Say it again, Ann?
It does have a seed in it.
The definitely, yeah, just like apples, the figs have seeds, but as I learned from an old friend, if you want to, you can eat an entire apple. Even the core, because the seeds won't grow in you.
Delicious.
All right, Ann, so why don't you pick up?
Okay. The fourth world is the world of emanation. It is a purely spiritual world represented by fire and by the season of autumn. In this world, we drink red wine with a few drops of white. Pure red wine represents the full bloom of nature before the cold winter. As nature expends its last bit of energy, a full cycle is completed. The white intrusion into the full splendor of the red is an indication that we can never attain a state of perfection in this world. Our fourth glass is reminiscent of the darkening colors of autumn and of the stages of later life. We drink the fourth cup of wine, we say, Baruch
Baruch atah
Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Olam,
rei pari
Hagafen.
amen.
White in it? Yes.
All right, great. Suzanne, why don't you pick up?
In the fourth world, we eat no fruit, for this world cannot be represented by any fruit. We must nourish the world for the coming generations. Just as nature goes through changes to reach its full potential, we need to change. We need to get rid of anger, envy, greed, so that we can be free to grow. When we do this, we will become strong, healthy trees with solid roots in the ground and our arms open to the love that is all around us.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Okay, Connie?
As we have passed through each world, we have changed with each season. We began by protecting our soft inner self and slowly peeled our hard outer layer. Within that soft layer, another hardness was found, protected by the softness which surrounded it. We came to a place where there was no distinction between the protected and the protective. In the fourth world, we become aware of the mercy, wisdom, and other realities perceived with our hearts, not our senses. Our hearts are full, and we praise the source which renews all creation.
All right, great. So I invite us all to say this final little line. May the year be fruitful and blessed. May we be blessed with a year of abundance and good health and peace.
Beautiful. I think I'm going to read it over again
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth
to absorb it.
reading it. And I did put this on YouTube, so you can go back. Excuse me one second. You can go back and look at it.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Yes, thank you.
You're
It's
welcome.
nice.
I cannot believe.
I wanted to close with a prayer from Nachman of Bratslav that I read last year, I think, and I've always loved this. I love this prayer, and this is, so we'll actually, I guess what we'll do is maybe before we close, we will just, maybe everyone who wants to, I would love for everyone just to introduce themselves, because there's people who might not know each other, and then feel free to share a thought, reflection on what we just went through, and any thoughts you have for the day, given our this in some ways is sort of a season of renewal for us nationally, and obviously Tu B'Shvat signals the beginning of, God willing, the spring. It's always sort of an early warning for the spring in our hemisphere, but still, and it's also of course when we hit Tu B'Shvat, it's also an early warning that in 1 month we have Purim, which means that in 2 months we have Pesach. So it's time to start getting stressed out about cleaning up our house and getting rid of all the chametz. So anyway, why don't we just go around? I'll just call people on the Zoom room. You can say your name and where you live, and what you're, and any reflection that you would like to offer. I would welcome that. So why don't we start with Anne, because you're at the top of my Zoom room, Anne.
Tu B'Shvat is one of my favorite holidays. I've been doing Tu B'Shvat Seders for a long time. The first person that led one in our congregation in Portland, Oregon, was Rabbi Michael Oblath. I don't know if you've heard of him, Rabbi Jim, but he's done a lot of study on the Samaritans up in northern Israel.
Oh, wow.
For that. Anyway, he and his wife put on a Tu B'Shvat Seder. When they moved away, my friends Ken and Carolyn Bailey conducted it again at the temple for a while, and then after that sort of died down, we did it at their home. And today I got a call from Ken asking me if my almond trees were in bloom.
Oh.
I said, well, they had a little bit of snow last night too, but it just sort of lightened the ground a little bit, and it wasn't as cold as it is here. So.
Right.
Anyway, this is a wonderful time to reflect.
Yeah. Thank you, Anne. Ellen, you're muted, Ellen. You have to unmute yourself.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
My name is Ellen. I live at 100 Center Street, and I had never heard of a tree Seder, and I had never attended a tree Seder before today. So this is something new for me. And I just want to say I think trees are beautiful, and I think it's a beautiful idea, but I had never attended one till today, and I liked it very much. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Ellen. Go ahead, Connie.
My name is Connie Rabinovitz. I live at 1550. And this season of the year, starting with the inauguration and the vaccine, and I too only became familiar with Tu B'Shvat here at 1550 when Suzanne introduced it to us over the years with the Seder, for which I'm truly grateful. But I've been familiar with the seasons because I used to teach in a little school in Chestnut Hill, the Baldwin School. And during the winter, the third graders would bring their ice skates because every day they would go skating in the Brookline Reservoir, the Chestnut Hill Reservoir. But we would call up town hall to see if the ice was thick enough. And if you go by Chestnut Hill Reservoir in the winter now, the ice is never ice. It's never frozen anymore. To me, it's really a concrete example of global warming. That's it.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you. Sandy, would you like to add something? You're muted though, Sandy. You'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm Sandy Greenberg. I live at 100 Center Street, and it was a lovely service.
Thank you. Judy?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get to sign up for it, but I really enjoyed just listening to everyone. It was very nice. And I'm really looking forward for this winter to be over, and we should be able to meet in person, whether inside or outside. It will be hopefully normal, sort of normal time soon. And I live at 1550 Beacon, and it's a nice place to be. And I hope it'll be nicer when this pandemic goes away.
God willing, from your mouth to God's ears, Judy. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Oh, I live at 1550, and I can't believe as we were reading this yet again, that our world is still so broken. After all, I mean, I wrote this maybe 12, 15 years ago, and things haven't changed enough. I'm very sad, actually. Reading this makes me sad. I mean, it's nice with the change of the seasons and those pieces, but the other parts make me very sad. I used to invite people into my home, not at 1550, but my former home. And we would have Tu B'Shvat Seders. And we tried to cook a whole dinner with things that came only from trees, and it was a big challenge.
That must be a huge challenge. I can't even imagine. That's great.
I don't quite remember what we did, but we tried anyway. Yeah.
That's great. Lauren?
Hi, I made this for Tu B'Shvat.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Oh, how beautiful that. Oh, it's wonderful.
Nice.
Lauren.
I haven't gotten it laminated yet. So,
That's great.
Looks very nice.
Lovely.
Hold it back up so we can see it.
Yeah, hold it up again, Lori.
okay, I'll stand up maybe.
Great.
Yeah,
Wow.
very nice, Lauren.
Very
No,
nice.
Nobody else can talk. She's got to hold it up and everybody be quiet.
Yeah, there we go.
Very nice.
When I get it laminated, it will look nicer.
Wonderful. All right, so Lori, this is Lori Wasserman who lives at 1550 Beacon.
I live at 1550.
Great.
And what else? I just realized, did anybody else see from 1550 on our channels? They're trying to make a channel, I think, for us on TV.
Yes. Yes, soon, if you have cable, you will be able to watch various programs as opposed to only being able to Zoom them. So I'm hoping that will make it easier for people who have a challenge with Zoom to participate in the various things that are offered. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to be a whole new technical challenge, because everything is a new technical challenge.
Yes, so this will be televised and not on computer.
Exactly. It'll be, you can look at some of our programming through the television and not through your computer. Exactly.
Is it through the Brookline station? How is it done?
There'll be a cable channel on RCN and Comcast, which will be the CCB channel. It'll be different than the Brookline cable access. So it'll have like.
I have to go now. I have to go.
All right, bye-bye, Ellen. Thank you for being with us. And happy Tu B'Shvat.
Thank you.
All right. And then finally, we have Lois and Ari. I don't know if Ari's still with you, Lois, but this is Lois.
Hi, Ari's here.
Great.
I'm Cantor Lois Welber, and I'm a member of the Worship and Study Congregation at Harvard Hillel. And
Lois, I'm just going to sing your praises for a second. If you happen to be part of our high holiday services this year, Lois was the cantor for the first evening of Rosh Hashanah, and then on Yom Kippur, was that right?
before Musaf, yeah.
Right, exactly. So you had the chance to enjoy her beautiful singing.
Oh,
So
thank you. Yeah. But
I'd like to compliment Suzanne. This is the first Tu B'Shvat Seder I've been to. You said you wrote this 12 years ago. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
thank you, Sandy. That's great. I love hearing a compliment for everybody else. So Lois is as she says, member of the Worship and Study Minyan, is Ari there to introduce himself too?
He can't do it right now.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
We were both listening and enjoying your Seder. And we're going to have our own here with all kinds of fruit and wine. And
Lovely, lovely.
cook tonight here.
Oh, great. You're going to cook with things, only with things from trees, right? Just like Suzanne.
We've got all the fruits and
That's wonderful.
wines, and it's a special day for me though, because it's my father passed away on Tu B'Shvat, so it's his Yortzeit also today.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's okay, and I'm going to be happy tonight with instead of going to a service.
Exactly. Exactly.
I usually do. I usually say Kaddish, but that's all right. I'll do it in the morning.
Yeah, and it's always, it's never a bad thing to celebrate on a yard site if you can manage it emotionally.
Yeah.
And not everyone is in a place to do that, but celebrating a person's life is also always
we do that. I
appropriate.
get a corned beef sandwich for my father.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you, Lois, so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
All right, so I'm going to finish with this little prayer from Reb Nachman of Breslov, which is really just a beautiful prayer. And Reb Nachman was very connected with nature, and thought that that the best place to go and encounter God was out in nature, not necessarily in shul. And so this is his prayer. Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day among the trees and grass, among all the growing things, and there may I be alone and enter into prayer to talk with the one to whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the foliage of the field, all the grasses, trees, and plants awake at my coming, to send the power of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and my speech are made whole through the life and spirit of all growing things, which are made as one by their transcendent source. May I then pour out the words of my heart before your presence like water, O Lord, and lift up my hands to you in worship on my behalf and on behalf of my children. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful remainder of Tu B'Shvat, and I look forward to seeing you all soon, whether in person or over Zoom. I hope it will happen soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And thanks again to Suzanne.
Thank you for putting all this together with all the fruits and the nuts and things.
It was
You're
great.
welcome. That's
Thank
fun.
you.
See you soon.